Sir.
Welcome back to episode 4 of the Going Yard podcast.
The 1-1 for Dodson. Batista with a drive. Deep left field. No doubt about
Thanks, Nick Lew. And the boys are coming off an eventful weekend, I might say, which was St. Paddy's Day. It was St. Paddy's Day on the weekend, but before we get into what we were talking about, Mo, let's start with you, man, because I know me and Eric work together, but Mo, how was your weekend?
My St. Paddy's Day, for one, was great. I was a little Irish, as you guys saw, with the green beer. I was guzzling down. Didn't have as much fun as you guys drinking on the streets, but guys, as you know, spring training is almost over and the season is around the corner. And we have some bigger news besides that. I'm now a level 20 choking up artist. So balls are going to be flying the furthest you've ever seen today.
Eric, man, how's it going?
Not too bad, long time no see.
Long time no see.
Saw you on Friday. Had a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
You and your girl ended up going home, leaving me in Waterloo.
Dude, it was, as you guys can tell, probably, we went to Laurier University, which is classic for St. Paddy's. It was an absolute gong show, and man, it was, you know what? It was like, went to the street party, and it was kind of like, okay, now what? Do you have that feeling too?
Yeah.
And then, I saw a couple of people that watched the pod, which is honestly crazy to me. I'm like, holy cow, we're only 3 episodes deep, 4 now. But met up with Eric. Exactly. Met up with Eric, and then I see this guy, he's striking out girls.
I was carving.
He was carving, man. Just little curveballs here and there, and that was it. But we're here to talk about baseball. We're here to talk about what's left of spring training. Just 10 games to go. But Mo, what do you got for us with in terms of Jay stuff?
Well, last time we touched base, it was February 28th. So there's been a lot more games since then. The Jays' current record is 14-11 in spring training. I know you don't care, but I like numbers. And
Luke likes numbers too. He likes to talk numbers.
Absolutely. You know what? I mean, there's so many games, it's kind of hard to keep track.
Yeah.
Vladdy was back, though. Thank goodness. He did swat one. Was it this week or last week?
He hit one against the Yankees on Saturday, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was great to see. And was it Brandon Belt made his debut, too?
Yeah, he did.
And he looked poopy, guys. Not impressed.
Yeah,
I get it, spring training, but what did you guys think of his first his debut?
I think we kind of expected him to not really be great, and I mean, again, you have to be a little easy. He made his debut at spring training. Nobody's going to be in midseason form. Now, I say that, and there are some guys who do look like they're in midseason form. Even look, Vladdy's got hurt. He's come back, and he's already, hasn't he hit 2 home runs since he's come back? I swear he's hit 2.
He's bled it.
Either 1 or 2. I know for sure he had a pitch job
against the Yanks.
Yeah, and I feel like he might have hit 2, but I'm not 100% sure. Either way, it's just we knew coming in he probably wasn't going to be someone that we were going to have to heavily rely on. I feel like will be a guy we'll occasionally see in the regular season. So I'm not really too mad about seeing him underperform in his debut in spring training, but yeah.
No, yeah, I totally agree with you too. And again, it's still spring training, and what more can you really expect? But other than that, still a lot more baseball to come. In terms of more Jay stuff, me and Mo got a kick out of this. Jays beating the Red Sox 16-3.
No.
And then
talk about an ass pounding that continued from last season. It was amazing. The best part though was Luke running his mouth, or tried to, and then once we showed him the score, he was obsolete.
he messaged us first, and he was just like, I don't want to hear from you guys. And I'm like, oh, you're gonna hear it, buddy. You're gonna hear it. Imagine your first loss being against us. That's what I'm saying. He likes to talk numbers. Yeah, and then also, we were talking about it, Vladdy coming off injury, hitting a ball to straight to Mars, bat flipping to the moon again. I love that shit, man. It's gonna be fun to watch. And then speaking of just going based off Brandon Belt again, there was actually, like, I saw today, there's rumors that the Reds GM is thinking of trading Joey Votto at the deadline to the Jays if the Reds are, like, kind of out of it by then.
Yeah, I did see that on Tim and Friends.
Yeah. Well, also if he gives the green light, because I think the Reds GM I think that every party kind of wants to have him retire as a Red, but if they're in the position where he can go win, gets the opportunity to, why not send him home?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't mind seeing him, like, them retiring him as a Reds. Like, I'd love to see that too, just as a fan. But hey, if guy wants to come back home, let him come back home.
Yeah, I
he
think
would be an upgrade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think that it's tough it is tough because they could always do something too, or maybe he comes back to the Jays for, I don't know, a season or two, and he goes back to Cincy for half a season even to retire. Because he's 39 now, I think.
39, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's also like the Jays just signed Belt. It's like, okay, what, is he just going to be a third first baseman now? It's kind of like, would the Jays even be willing to pay for a guy when... Now, I would take Votto over Belt, but it's like, what are they going to do with Belt then?
Oh, you release him.
Yeah, because he's on a 1 year, right?
Just release him.
Okay, yeah, that is true.
Well, that was going to get into like my question about that is like, yeah, would you mind taking Votto even at that age, or
100%. If it's a one-time deal where it's going to push us in the playoffs, the guy had an actually incredible season last year, so he can still hit. And you don't need him to play first base. You need him to be a DH. That's perfect.
Yeah,
that is true. Did you know that this is like one of the craziest stats in baseball, is that he's only flown out to the infield like 3 times in his entire professional career?
That's insane.
Or something like that. It's 2 or 3 times. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I think I saw that too recently. It was just like a random stat, sometimes you see on like Instagram or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, like I didn't even think of that. Well, I guess because we never really see him play as much, but still, that's crazy.
I think it would be great for both parties. And again, we have to be in the position that could be like the missing piece maybe to get us over the hump against, the Astros or the Yankees, teams like that. Not the Red Sox because they stink.
No.
But it's all contingent with him. It all depends on him. If we're okay, I don't know, I would probably not push on it. But if it's a guy that can really help us, yeah, why not?
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that. But in some like other, I guess I saw this too again. I forgot if it was like Tim and Friends or another Blue Jays account that posted it. But apparently the Blue Jays are ranked first in the MLB at the catcher position, and this is by Fangraphs. Do you guys agree with that?
Overall, yeah. I think
like
that
best catchers in the league, like as a team, like.
Well, I think Jesus, Jansen, and Varsho.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would say at least they're up there.
You agree, Eric? Or
yeah, no, I said from the start, I think that overall, I would agree with that for sure.
You know me, man. Like Jesus is always on he's always on my side. So
yeah,
and honestly, like, hey, man, Danny Jansen rakes, and he's Danny Bonds in my opinion. So, other than that though, like, I do agree with that, because then you really think about who are the other catchers in the whole entire league of like as a whole, not just like one starting catcher. Mm-hmm. And like in terms of us with depth in the catcher position, like I 100% agree on that. Not just to be like even a biased Jays fan, I just think that as a whole.
Oh yeah, no, you're 100% right. And obviously it's like I'm a Jays fan too, so it might not mean a whole ton coming from us. But if we are speaking in terms of depth, then it's not even a question. And now if they had Moreno still, that would have obviously 100%, but I would still say that they absolutely have the best depth catching wise.
Well, since we're reading up on news, we're catching up on our literature, guys. Blue Jay literature, that is. I saw the piece about Ryu. about his rehab, and he's motivated to finish what he started from when he signed in Toronto. And his rehab's going well. I mean, a torn labrum is no joke. But guys, do you think when he comes back in mid-July, he's going to help this team significantly? What do you think?
I don't know. It's just like we haven't seen him pitch. How long has it been?
Over a year?
Yeah,
Close
right.
to, or at least, yeah.
I haven't even. Maybe I think I've seen one video of him pitching when pitchers and catchers reported to spring training. It's really tough to say, just because, like I said, we haven't seen him pitch in a while. Do I think he's gonna take us over that hump? Like, if you're talking, we're getting back like 2019 All-Star Ryu on the Dodgers, 100%. I don't think that's the case anymore, though. Especially with Kikuchi having like a really good spring training. I don't.
He said there was a setback in his last start. He walked quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. His last start was kind of.
It was the real Coochie stood.
It was
up.
Coochie looking like, yeah. I don't know. I really don't know how I can answer that, honestly, because we haven't seen him pitch in a while, and even those times where he was healthy, it was still like he was inconsistent in my opinion. There was games where he would go like 7 innings strong, and then there was games where he would go like 4 or 5 innings getting pulled early, So it's hard. It's tough.
Yeah. Eric, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to be harsh and say no.
Of course.
I just think that I've played baseball with guys who've come back from torn labrums, and their first seasons after coming back, you're not the same after. And you could say that for a lot of injuries, but you see Tommy John, there's guys who come back even better from it, but torn labrums, you don't hear many guys coming back from a torn labrum being better. And if he does end up getting back to his old self, it's certainly not going to be in his first season back since his injury.
Okay, well, since we don't think he's going to have an impact, and you can never have too much pitching depth, especially starting pitching depth, do you think the Jays should still be looking for a pitcher? And I'm going to throw a name out there because I heard they've had contact with them. One former Cy Young winner, Chris Archer, would entertain that. If you don't trust Ryu coming back.
Wait, so
go on, Nick. Sorry,
you're saying either Chris Archer or Ryu? Like if we had the chance to get him,
I'm saying if you don't trust Ryu coming back in mid-July, and there you can never have too much starting pitching,
and then you try to go for Chris Archer.
Would you attempt to go for Chris Archer then, since Ryu is an unknown, whereas Chris Archer, I mean, he hasn't been as good since he's won that Cy Young, but he's younger, he's not coming off a major injury, and he can pitch. He knows the AL East.
No, yeah, I would 100% entertain that. Like, I'd definitely, if I was Jay's management and, it's not working out with Ryu at that time, I would definitely go for it. You can't think that, we'll have that mindset of management being, we made it to the wild card, let's try and make the wild card again. You want to clinch the division. You don't want to just barely make it into the playoffs, right? And I definitely think Chris Archer, he's not the same as when he was with Tampa, when he was dominating us, and it's fine, right? If you're looking at a fifth starter, it's fine. But I definitely do think he would make more of an impact than Ryu.
I'm going to disagree. It's just another right-handed pitcher. And in my opinion is now I would probably say below average. I'm like looking at his stats, especially from last season. And yes, okay, he was playing with Minnesota, who stunk of camel shit, but like 2-8 record, which again, you could blame that on the defense, but a 4.56 ERA, that's something you cannot really blame on the defense. With only 84 Ks in 102 innings, I mean, it's just, I just, if Ryu doesn't come back the same, which even again I don't think he will, I would still rather have him as a potential guy for later in the season per se, or earlier the next season, just because it's another left-handed starter. We don't need more right-handed starters, in my opinion, unless it's like an all-star, like a current all-star, which that's not going to happen.
Yeah, no. I honestly, you brought up a good point there. I completely forgot that we'd all be righties. So there is that. I definitely agree with you on that. And I didn't even, to be honest, I didn't even know his ERA was like in the 4s. So
it's not necessarily to replace Coochie. Let's just say Coochie actually pitches well.
Yeah.
Starter. It's just more depth, right?
Exactly.
Right. And that's what it's a guy who knows the AL East.
Yeah, right. And that's what I was like considering, was that he'd like Coochie would still be one of the guys, but it's just that it's still only one left-handed starter that they have now, and it's, you know, a guy that we can't rely on to be a great left-handed starter.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to throw out one more name, and then we can move on. Ricky Tiedemann.
I thought you were going to say Ricky Romero first.
I don't know why I was thinking the exact same thing.
No, first of all, screw that bum. I have his autograph, and it's not even worth the $5 I paid for it. So no.
he's in the minor league system, correct? Yeah.
But he's looked fantastic in spring.
And he is a lefty, so
lefty.
Oh.
And he's young.
You know, by July, if he's shoving, then I'll definitely consider it too, considering we need that lefty. Again, it's just too early to say, but if in July where we need a replacement, kind of, sure, give him a shot.
All right.
I was going to say I agree. July is a lot of time to see him develop even a little bit more, and obviously give him a chance at possibly playing. I'd say start, if they do that though, I'd feel more comfortable if they brought him in to relieve a couple times before having him start a game.
Now I respect that. He's just throwing the heat right now, and he's a lefty arm. So thank you guys. That is spring training. That's the Jays roundup. And Eric, what do we got next?
Well, we're going to be looking at some worldwide baseball now with the WBC. Currently, Japan and Mexico are actually playing in the semifinals. The winner will move on and play the United States in the finals. Shame to see the U.S. in the finals, but it is their sport, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
Mexico. Mexico is currently winning 3-0, which I'm quite upset about because I'd really like to see Japan win.
Me too.
I obviously a big Shohei fan. I've been looking at like a lot of it's like random. I've been getting a lot of stuff on TikTok about like Japanese high school baseball. Bro, Japan is different when it comes to baseball. Mm-hmm. This I don't even think this is a hot take. Japan, high school baseball in Japan is bigger than high school football is in Texas, and I would probably just say the U.S. in general. They're selling out like the Tokyo Dome for high school baseball games. Anyways, obviously right now, semifinals, Japan, Mexico, winner will play the U.S. You know, there's more things that I'm going to ask after, but I just want to hear what you guys have had to say about the tournament so far.
Basically, we saw Team Canada get obliterated by Team USA.
Yeah.
Putting in a 19-year-old single player against the. I feel like they try to finesse there. Like, oh, maybe, you know, get him like 3 scoreless innings. Nope. It was like 9-0 in the first inning. Yeah. That didn't really get, and also didn't really expect much to go up against Team USA. And then we also got, you know, not Toronto boy, but Toronto Blue Jays boy, Jose Berrios shitting the bed.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. It's not looking good. And I know it's just that like one game, but still, man, like he's really shown not a lot of improvement. I know his couple outings in spring training were okay, but I don't know. That kind of just like set the tone again for it's kind of like, is this what we're going to see again in the season? So
it's the blonde hair. He needs to get rid of it. Stupid.
Well, he thought it was going to be something different apparently, and then guy gave up like 5 runs in the first inning with 4 or 5 runs.
Yeah.
And then, you know, yesterday we saw Team USA beat Team Cuba.
What a surprise.
Trey Turner.
Woo! I was going to say.
Turner, I forgot.
I was going to say
The guy
And,
is fire, man.
he is disgusting. So I got it here. In the last, 2 games, he's 4 for 8 with 3 home runs and 8 RBIs.
That's crazy.
He heard us mention him as the best shortstop on this pod, so he's stepping it up. That guy's all world.
Trey, you're proving us right.
And I keep forgetting he's a Philly this year too.
Yeah,
like, man.
Yeah, that team's gonna be dangerous though. And when Bryce Harper comes back, man, NL East is
that division is unstoppable. Like we'll get into that whole thing later, but
yeah. Sorry, I got one important one actually, since we were talking about the NL East, and that's Mets closer Edwin Diaz going down. After celebrating.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that whole thing later with just like the WBC in general, whatever. So I got some some things here with like all the MVPs of each division. It's like Pool A MVP was Yu Chang. I don't know if you saw this guy tearing it up for Chinese Taipei, but he was 7 for 16 in the tournament with 2 home runs and 8 RBIs. I don't know where this guy came from, but he was just swatting. And Pool A was a pretty good division. It had like the Netherlands in it. I honestly can't remember who else was in it, but I know the Netherlands is a top team.
And Italy, actually, everyone in this division was 2-2. So they had Cuba, Italy, Netherlands, Panama, and Chinese Taipei.
Right,
all
right.
2-2.
Wow, yeah. And then Pool B MVP, I mean, of course, Shohei Ohtani, 6 for 12, 3 doubles, a home run, 8 RBIs, and then pitched 4 innings, 1 hit, 5 Ks. And Japan didn't lose a game in pool play, and they smoked everyone they played as well.
Yeah.
The boy Lars Nootbaar, the California boy playing for Japan. I think that's sick though. Super cool. Good for him for doing that. Pool C MVP was Arozarena, who's apparently Mexican.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I was
he escaped to Mexico from Cuba, I think it was.
Okay. So he has citizenship there?
He just has a citizenship there.
Fair.
And I mean, he's pretty much carried that team offensively. Yep. 7 for 14 with 5 doubles, a home run, and 9 RBIs. Mexico, you would not be where you are right now if it wasn't for him. I really hope you guys don't win. In my opinion, they don't deserve to be this deep into the tournament. They didn't they fucking lose to Colombia in the pool play, I think? I don't know.
I think so.
I know they beat Canada, but
they beat Team USA too, I think. Wasn't it their first game?
USA and them are 3-1. They're
sorry. Yeah, they beat the US, but they lost to Cuba, I think it was.
Yeah.
Weird, or it might have been Britain that they lost to. They lost to one of the shittier teams in the division.
It might have been Great Britain.
So they have Colombia, Great Britain, Canada, US, and Mexico. So it's probably Great Britain or Colombia.
I think it was one of those 2 teams. But anyways, and then the Pool D MVP was Salvador Perez for Venezuela, of course. 5 for 10, home run, 5 RBIs. But I was just gonna say it's no surprise to see the MLB stars tearing it up in this. Again, it's like a 19-year-old starting for Canada against the U.S. might have been one of the worst managerial decisions made in baseball history.
I kind of wanted to go back to that actually, because I just wanted to get your guys' take. But because I was thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, how come what if Josh Naylor? I know Josh Naylor. I think he's injured right now. But what if Josh Naylor and Romano was even part of that team? Do you think it would have made a big difference?
Absolutely. I will say I feel like their offense, except for the game against the U.S., was really good. Although I say that, and they had a terrible time when it came to stranding runners. I think they stranded more runners than any other team in the tournament. Mm-hmm. But they scored 18 against Britain. Their pitching stunk. I'm sorry.
I think that was their Achilles heel.
It was abysmal. Obviously, Soroka's been hurt forever too. He would have been a main guy if he wasn't hurt. Even they were you could have even had Votto on the team as well.
Yeah. Too.
But I think that yes, they stranded a lot of runners, but the pitching was their problem. Quantrill, who was their ace, gave up how many to Britain in the first game, I think, which was embarrassing. He didn't even make it out of the first inning. Mm-hmm. it was just, I don't know. The pitching was hard to watch. My boy Owen Casey though played for the same team as me back in the day. He was swatting for Canada. He's looking good. It was good to see the young guys on Canada's offense like actually hit well. I found that they hit really well. Bo Naylor, born in 2000, he had a home run against Mexico. I think he started to turn it up in the end. But
same with Otto Lopez.
Yeah, Otto Lopez looked good.
Yeah, he looked.
I didn't know he was Canadian too. I'm like, what's
Quebec?
Yeah, Quebec.
O'Neill looked great as well. O'Neill looked really good.
Yeah, I forgot about O'Neill too.
Did I not call him the best left fielder in the game?
You did call him. You did call that.
It was good to see too, like the glimpse of the future as well. I know we didn't fare too well, but there's some nice pieces to look forward to.
Oh yeah,
baseball. So that was
yeah. Well, I think Canada might have had the youngest roster in the tournament. But yeah, I agree. Yes, there were obviously a lot of negatives, but I think that there were more positives that came out of it with how much, like you said, how much young talent there is.
Right.
Yeah, they went 2-2. I mean, they could have been worse. They could have been Colombia, Great Britain, Nicaragua, Israel, China.
Yeah. Now, back to the whole injury thing, Mo. Obviously, Freddie Freeman got hurt as well. Not as bad as Edwin Diaz, but there's been a lot of, in my opinion, bullshit going on with Twitter and people saying that the WBC is stupid. Who was it? One of the morons that works for Barstool tweeted out, like, I hope that more players start getting hurt or whatever.
Oh, I saw that.
Yes. Like,
that was so stupid.
Yeah, like saying, I hope more players get hurt in this useless tournament, blah, blah, blah. Like, why were you wasting your time doing this? And, it's like, yes, players are getting hurt. And I saw this on Tim and Friends today, and this what made me think of this topic. And Tim brought up a really good point of, people are hating on the WBC, but the World Cup and the Olympics are fine.
Right.
And I don't know if that's more so like the American mindset kind of thing, where it's the American fans are like, oh, the guys for our favorite MLB teams are getting hurt, so I'm going to blame them for wanting to represent their country and all that. And a lot of them are saying nobody cares about the WBC. The Japan versus South Korea game had 63 million people watching, but nobody cares about the WBC. They were selling out the games in the Japanese, So I could rant on this, but I want to hear like your guys' take on this whole, is the WBC dumb or not kind of thing.
It's not dumb at all. It's just American ignorance, or North American ignorance, so to speak. It's great. I love how the other countries get so invested in it and they put on a show, whereas Canada was cool, and the US they're a juggernaut, but it's an important tournament. I think it showcases some talent. It gets you ready for the season of anything. You got the season around the corner. It's been pretty entertaining, and I'll be first to admit I don't normally watch it, but this year I was a little more invested because I saw some great competition. I saw some new players I never heard of, some players I forgot about, and it's been pretty good. So this person on Barstool, first of all, Barstool has a bunch of idiots, so I don't value their opinion.
Yeah.
But I think it's great for the game, and this person should just shut the hell up.
Yeah, I mean, just wishing injury upon any athletes, that's just a fucked up thing to do. So not like he'll see this, but if somehow you came around it, I hope you go fuck yourself.
Yep.
No, yeah, like I feel the same way. I mean, and it's also kind of that factor where this tournament doesn't happen like every year, right? So it's kind of like you look forward to something, and not gonna lie, like spring training, it gets boring after a while because
God,
it's just the same shit, and it's just like it's more so for the younger guys. It's like a tryout kind of, right? So at least for me, I've been watching more of the WBC than spring training right now, and it's kind of like that way of like it brings everyone together. Like I don't like soccer, right? And like
what?
like this year when the World Cup happened, like I actually watched a bit of it because it's kind of like this only happens like every four or 5 years? 4 years. It only happens every 4 years, and it's like, especially if your country's in it, it's kind of like, yeah, like let's root for all of Canada, not just the Blue Jays, you know? So whoever that fucking guy was at Barstool was a clown too. He's up there with Anthony Recker.
Absolutely. I can't wish harm on people.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know if you guys like notice this. The players have way more fun in these national tournaments than they ever do in the regular season of the MLB. Yeah. They're proudly representing their country, and it's like you're really gonna shame people for doing that. Exactly. Like you're really gonna shame people for doing that. But I don't know, man. I
actually saw it. Like I saw it's so sad, but like people were saying on like Twitter, Instagram, and everything, they're like, it's so sad that like you can see Mike Trout is having like the time of his life because he's actually on a winning team and has a reason to win. Yeah. I'm like, it's exactly what you said. Like
facts.
So yeah, there's that too. Like you got guys on Team USA who don't really have a shot at winning the World Series, and it's like this is really important to them, and it's like it is a big thing to win.
And another thing I love about it, they're not getting paid to play in the WBC. Oh. They're doing it because they want to. It's no longer a job for them when they're playing in the WBC. And I think to your point, Nick, with the whole spring training thing, and I think Mo's actually that you said it gets them prepared for it. I think that the WBC is way more competitive than spring training is. I think if anything, it gets them more prepared for the season than spring training does.
Yeah, because you got pitch counts, you have innings you're going to be in the game. You might not play in spring training, where this you're playing to win. Yeah. So I just think it's a great thing for the league. And baseball, no offense to baseball, it sometimes can get tedious, even the regular season. Mm-hmm. So this is something different, and you guys both alluded to this. They're having fun. Yeah, they're having so much fun, and you get to play with guys you may not have played with or who you're friends with. So it's just pretty awesome. And this guy just needs to shut the fuck up.
Anyone that says the WBC is dumb, and people are saying, oh, they could get college guys to play in it. It's like, okay, what college guys are going to be playing for Japan and all that? It's just like, again, it's probably just Americans who want a free win at the game, because professionally, it's like a bunch of them aren't like, there's good players who aren't in America. America's probably going to win regardless. It's just, I don't know. So people who don't think the WBC is good but supports things like the World Cup, the Olympics, any other international events, you're a moron. You're probably American, sorry, but it's just, I'm going to keep ranting, so let's move on.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say one more point too. The reason why I love watching it is because spring training games, like, yeah, they're boring because you're in a little like dinky field, whereas WBC, you're in a full stadium, packed house. And like, I don't know if you noticed, but when it was like Puerto Rico versus Dominican, those fans were insane. You know, so it's it's like watching playoff baseball, honestly. That's why I love it.
And their women are hot, so.
Not going to see those at Boston games.
Never. Some of these fans ever.
But yeah, I guess we've covered a lot about the WBC. So I think it's time to go into the next segment where a lot of people actually liked our segment where we did, like top 5 stadiums and best players at position. So now we have a new one. We got top 5 ugliest jerseys of all time. Let's do this. Like 5-1. So we'll say
let's do it the same way we did at the stadium. Like Nick said, 5-1.
Okay, Mo, start it off.
You want me to start?
Yeah.
All right. Because I got some pretty ugly ass.
I'm gonna have to look some of these ones up.
Well, Nick, I sent it to your email. So
yeah, I already saw your list. I just don't know what order it's in.
Yeah, no. Okay, so. First of all, Eric, thank you so much for taking this upon the podcast to have this segment, because there's nothing more hilarious and entertaining than talking ugly ass jerseys. Yeah. So I'm going to start number 5, the 1998 Tampa Bay Devil Rays, not Rays, Devil Rays uniforms.
Wait, what? No.
Yes, way. Shitty stadium along with shitty ass uniforms. looked like honestly looked like a whale barfed all over some fabric. These things were disgusting. You saw Wade Boggs and Fred McGriff don these during the expansion year. Blech. No thank you.
Wait, Mo, I'm gonna just say one thing. I kind of like those ones.
I was gonna say
No,
I kind of like them too.
They're disgusting. No, you no. The Marlins I can handle because I love those Marlin jerseys back in the day, but not Devil Rays. Come on, no.
I feel like okay, and the thing is, I'm definitely not disagreeing. Like I personally like them, but I feel like they are one of those jerseys that it's one or the other. It's either that people love them or they absolutely hate them.
These are trash, and that team is trash too. Number 4, and everybody did this. I just found out everybody did this, but I'm narrowing in on the Kansas City Chiefs. In 1998, those futuristic jerseys that everybody donned, these are yellow, and they had gold buckets to
With
accompany
the Chiefs?
them.
Oh, you mean Royals?
The Royals?
The Kansas City
I know
Royals.
exactly which ones you're
They
talking
are
about.
disgusting looking. There was a reason Johnny Damon left KC that year and went to Oakland because he was surrounded with ugliness. These are fugly. You stick to the blue, all right? Stick to the
yeah, those.
brand.
Yeah.
Those are awful.
Other teams did it too. The only one that actually did a good job with it were the San Francisco Giants.
The future.
They were
Didn't he?
white. They were pure white. They kind of looked like the Cincinnati Bengal jerseys when they went white last year.
I remember, didn't Seattle have black with silver helmets?
Yeah,
I remember the Ken Griffey Jr. Yeah.
Fucking nasty. Everybody, the Pirates. Ugh. Look it up. You get some time, look this up. It's fucking gross. All right. Number 3. We're going way back in time. Okay, we're going to 1970. And I think they had it for most of the 70s. We're going the Houston Astros. Oh my God, what a fucking eyesore. Apparently, the people in the 70s did not know what to dress or had terrible taste. These are god-awful. I'm telling you, they'll blind you. No. Throw them in the trash. Never again, Houston.
I swear, they've brought them back as alternate.
It's like their alternate right now.
Yeah.
Ugh, no. Miss me with that. Number 2. We were talking about St. Patrick's Day. Well, the Red Sox fucked up St. Patrick's Day with the 2007 St. Patty's Day Red Sox jerseys. Luke, how dare you support this team when they can't even put together good jerseys? Yeah, they're winning, but they just suck when it comes to dressing. These are hideous. Never again, Boston.
No.
And you guys ready for number 1? 1976 Chicago White Sox.
It's on my list.
That's all
Why would anybody have a polo fucking shirt with shorts?
With shorts, bro.
I saw.
No,
so when I was looking,
these look like. No, it looks like they're from a fucking orphanage. No, these jerseys are fucking wrong. Why Chicago? Why?
Oh my God!
I guess it was sad times in the Windy City.
Yup.
That's my list, man. All of them should be burned at the stake. I'll fucking take all of them and start a tire fire with these motherfuckers. Nasty ass jerseys. Those are my top 5.
What a list!
Yeah.
What an elite list. Took it to Mars and
Great
just left it there.
presentation
Let's
as
go.
well.
I love it.
Nick, I think you go next. Yeah.
Okay. Mo kind of had a couple of mine too. But at number 5, we got the 1986 Houston Astros jersey where it just looks like a fucking Sunny D ad on a jersey. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I put it at 5 because when I first saw it for the first time, I'm like, this is the ugliest fucking jersey ever. As I got older, it grew on me a little, but it still doesn't knock the fact that it's still super ugly. Number 4, we got the 1970 Oakland Athletics. This was bad, man. It was like, Eric, I'm pretty sure you're going to talk about this, but how you hated jerseys where it was cut off here, but then it still had sleeve. That's what it was. And it was like green and ugly ass yellow. And I don't know, man. It just didn't float my boat. Number 3, we're going with the St. Pat's Boston Red Sox. Look, man, it literally looked like build a team on fucking MLB The Show. All right. That's what it looked like. I'm like, if you're going to do something like St. Pat's, for example, the Leafs, those are nice St. Pat's jerseys, Whereas the Red Sox just build a team on MLB The Show. Make it green and put the Red Sox. So ugly as hell. Number 2, we got the 1976 Chicago White Sox. Like Mo said, it literally looks like a rugby team out there. Fucking co-ed softball jersey league. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that because I'm in one, and that's how everyone dresses. But it's slow pitch softball.
My softball team doesn't dress like that.
No, okay. I'm not saying yours. I'm just saying not a lot of people wear like baseball pants, right? Like they'll just, if it's hot out there, you know what I mean? Number 1, you guys already know what I'm gonna say.
I already know it.
This has to be the ugliest jersey I have ever seen in my life, and I didn't even know it existed until I started doing research. The 1999 Pittsburgh Pirates. Tell me why you got like McDonald's on the front of it, basically. The name and number isn't even in line. And then it like the colorway just doesn't make sense to me. And it's horrendous, man. Like I don't know what they were thinking at that time. I don't know why red.
They were loving it. They were loving it.
They were loving it. I don't even know. Anyways, man, that's top 5 ugliest jerseys for me. Eric, this was your bread and butter, so get over to you.
Yeah,
baby.
So I'm starting mine off with a Arizona Diamondbacks 1990s alternate jersey. It was like a purple base with like green letters. I don't know. It looked like fucking Barney when they were on the field. I don't know. The old Arizona jerseys in general were terrible. They had the cutoff sleeves and just that like teal green with the purple. Disgusting. But the alternate one is the one that stood out to me the most. Number 4, I have the Pirates 2008 alternate, which I don't know, Nick. It's like they tried to bring back the 1999 alternate with a red cutoff and the black sleeves. It just didn't have the big pirate on the front. It just said Pirates. I don't know why they're wearing red in the first place. Number 3, I have. Oh, this is actually really tough because I'm looking at all 3 of these and they're all terrible. Was the Oakland Athletics. They were the KC Athletics at the time's 1960s uniform. And Nick, they were super similar to the 70s ones.
Yeah.
Where it's just that vomit yellow and green with the cutoffs. Oakland, your uniforms have sucked the entire time you've existed. Worst color scheme ever. Like green and yellow are both they look terrible. And then it's a toss up between the 1999 Pirates alternate and the women's croquet team, White Sox, like from 76. I mean, shorts is abysmal. And then you're adding the like long socks and the polo shirt. And it's just like, I don't know. I feel like there's just too many dodgy jokes that can be made about this. But they don't look like they belong around schools, like middle schools and stuff.
No.
Wearing that. It's just, I don't know what they're thinking. There's so many bad ones that I could even put. Yeah, the Astros, 70s, Kansas City, those gold ones. There were so many that it was just hard to pick. But I all around have hated Oakland's uniforms my entire life, so I had to throw them in there regardless.
So with the season coming around, just coming around the corner in 10 days, we made a list of just our divisions predictions. All right, so we'll start off with AL East then.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Eric, do you want to start it off for us?
Yep. So I got pains me, but Yankees 1, Blue Jays 2, Tampa 3, Baltimore 4, and Boston 5. I feel like you could switch Baltimore and Boston, but I feel like Baltimore just has more of a future, and also fuck Boston.
More to look forward to.
Yeah.
Mo, what about you?
I've got the same list as Eric.
Same exact.
Yankees 1, Blue Jays 2, Rays 3, Baltimore 4, and I'm not switching that order because fuck Boston, and Boston for 5. At least Baltimore, everybody's young. They have a bright future. Boston has nothing to look forward to.
Yeah.
Not even ass green jersey.
Yeah, they signed Metamucil Boys for this season with Justin Turner and Kimbrel, was it? Yeah.
I want to say mine is exactly the same too, but there's one slight difference. I put the Blue Jays at number 1. Fuck it.
I want to, man, but I just don't.
Nah, man, fuck it. I believe in the boys. We're going to the moon with this. All right. The Yankees, they have some injuries too, and you know what? We're a baseball podcast, Blue Jays oriented. I'm supporting my boys through it out, and if they do end up finishing first, we're coming back to this episode.
Yeah, you can clearly tell that Nick's the more optimistic one in the group.
Yeah, I'm just a real.
I'm a realist. Yeah,
realist, man.
Like I was gonna say Yankees 2 is gonna be first, but you know what? Fuck the Yankees.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm believing I would choose my team over your team, anyways. So let's go to the AL Central. Mo, you want to start it off?
Yeah, got the Cleveland Guardians. I've got the Chi-Town White Sox, not supporting those shorts and and polos. I got the Twins. I've got the Tigers, and I've got the lonely KC Chiefs, who are probably losing 100 games this season.
Probably. Eric, what about you?
I got Cleveland, White Sox, Twins. I actually switched the Royals and Detroit around. I feel like, I don't know, I wanted to put a little bit of faith in KC, Bobby Witt Jr. I don't know. I think it'd go either way, but for whatever reason, I feel like I also just wanted to switch it up from last year's standings. So I've put KC above Detroit.
Interesting.
Plus Detroit's a stinky sack of shit. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but they got Miggy, man. I feel like Miggy's last season, he's going to go out strong.
Yeah, I'm more so just speaking on the city in general. I feel like playing baseball there, you're just like, I'm living in a war zone.
Yeah,
it's hard
pretty
to
much.
focus. Yeah.
So for me, I got the Guardians at number 1. It was honestly like between Chicago and Minnesota at the 2, but I just put Minnesota because I'm like, fuck it, let's be different.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be a battle. Like it'll be close between them. So then Chicago number 3, and then for the battle of last place, I'm like, it doesn't really matter. So I'm like, you know what? I'll give it to Detroit because we live closer to Detroit.
Battle of Detroit.
And then Kansas City in dead last. So
Yeah, man, they stink.
yeah. So then sticking with the last one, AL West. I'll start it off since both you guys did it. Number 1, I got Astros.
Yeah.
Number 2, I got Mariners. Number 3, I said Rangers just because they beefed up a little bit, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Number 4, Angels. I'm sorry, like Trout and Ohtani, I want you guys to do well, but I don't. This is going to be the same repeat. Number 5, we got the Oakland Athletics.
I've got Houston. I think they're going to be the... actually, there might be another team that wins 100 games. I got Houston probably winning close to 100 games. Seattle. I've got the Angels. And spoiler alert, they're one of my wild card teams. I think they actually this season.
Okay.
They got the Texas Rangers. No matter how much money you spend, you're not doing shit.
That's kind of
And
true,
got the stinky Oakland Athletics. At the bottom where they belong.
Yeah. Okay. So I got the same as Mo. Houston, Seattle, Angels. God, I just want to see the Angels do well so bad.
Me too.
I want Trout and Ohtani to see the playoffs. I got Texas at 4th. They got DeGrom, but I mean, we've seen with DeGrom when he was in his prime, when he was with the shitty Mets, and they didn't go anywhere. I don't think that he's going to make a difference for the Rangers, who I think are worse than the Mets were when DeGrom was playing for them. And then, I got Oakland last. Your team sucks. Your uniforms suck. Your stadium sucks.
Yeah. Now let's go on to the national side. We'll start off with what I think is going to be the craziest division this year, the NL East. Mm-hmm. Mo, what do you got?
We've got the Philadelphia Phillies at number 1.
Yep.
Trey Turner.
Yeah, that's exactly my reason too.
Turner has got me thinking, man.
I know.
He's doing this right now. He can carry the Phillies, and he doesn't even need to carry them. They've got a great supporting cast until Harper comes back. So I got the Phillies at number 1. Got Atlanta Braves number 2. I've got Team Metamucil number 3. I've got the Marlins at number 4 and Washington at number 5. And basically Miami and Washington, nobody gives a fuck. It's a three horse race, but that's my list, and that's probably one of the best divisions in baseball.
Yeah, I agree with it being one of the best for sure. I got Yeah, I got Phillies 1. I actually put the Mets over the Braves. Yeah, the Phillies, it's just Trey Turner. Yeah, I mean, enough said. It's one of those guys where you're putting a top 10 player on a team who might already have other top 10 guys on his team.
Right.
And then, I got Phillies, Mets, Braves, and then Marlins and Nationals, who, even though they're like last in the division, I would say comparatively to bottom two teams in other divisions, they are better.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I just don't care about it.
Yeah, of course not.
For the NL East, I have the same list as you, Mo. I was honestly thinking about this one too, who would take first, but then I remembered, I'm like, holy shit, Trey Turner's on the Phillies this year. And just seeing what he's doing right now, they were in the World Series last year. A lot of people say it was a fluke, and people can say what they want. I still think, they're still a strong team with the guys that they have, and they're capable of taking first place. So, and then, you got Braves, Mets, and then Marlins, Nationals, who really cares. So then with just two more divisions. So now we got the NL Central. Eric, what do you got?
I have the Cardinals first. I actually put the Cubs second, as I think that they've had a good offseason with Swanson and Bellinger. Yeah. And then I have the Brewers third, mainly for their pitching with Burns and, oh my God, I'm forgetting the other guy's name. And I had him in one of our earlier episodes. And then I have the Reds fourth and good old Pittsburgh in fifth.
I've got the Cards, probably one of the most underrated powerhouses in the MLB. They just keep winning. They know how to win.
Yeah.
Doing it for years. I've got Milwaukee because of their pitching at number 2. I've got Chicago at number 3. Swanson's a great player, and Bellinger is a wild card, but I don't think it's enough to actually get them in the second hole. I've got Pittsburgh at number 4, and I've got the stinky Cincinnati Reds at number 5, and that is when the GM is going to call Toronto and be like, Joey Votto wants to come by.
Yep.
Let's make a deal. So that's why I'm hoping, since he is complete trash this season.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't really see them being super good. So
no.
My list, Cardinals number 1, Brewers number 2, Cubs number 3. I honestly forgot about Dansby Swanson being there, so I don't know that list. They might poke up back there, but for now, number 3. And then again, battle of last place, man. Reds and Pirates. Doesn't really matter to me, but I think Reds will be 4 and Pirates will be 5. Just watching their spring training games, man. Yeah. I don't know about that.
It's painful.
So now we got the last one. We got NL West. I'll start it off. So I said Dodgers number 1. Be on the safer side, but I do think that there could be a change. Padres number 2, Giants number 3, Diamondbacks number 4, and Rockies number 5.
It's the changing of the guard. San Diego has the best top 4 lineup when it comes to hitters, powerhouse all-stars. San Diego's taking the number 1 spot. They don't even need Tatis, but when he comes back, watch balls go flying. I'm telling you. Dodgers number 2. Can't disrespect LA. Got Arizona at number 3. I love what Arizona is doing right now. Nice young talent. I think it's more than what the Giants have. I think the Giants are going to take a step back. They're at number 4. And the Colorado Rockies, who spent a ton of money last season, are still going to be shit at number 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I did the same as Nick. I got the Dodgers at 1. It's like, as much as I kind of do agree with what you're saying, Mo, with the top 4, I can't see, for whatever reason, I can't see the Padres doing better than the Dodgers this season.
Yeah.
And I
Dodgers
feel like
lost a lot, though, man. They lost a lot in the offseason.
They did. That is true. I almost just feel like there's so much ego on San Diego that's going to somehow self-destruct. And when I say self-destruct, I mean second place in the NL West. So not really self-destructing, because they're not going to do worse than the Giants, the Diamondbacks, and the Rockies, which I got Giants third, Diamondbacks fourth, and smelly Colorado in fifth. But I didn't even I completely forgot about how well Arizona's been doing. So I would definitely say Giants and Diamondbacks are interchangeable for third and fourth.
So with our division predictions, we also got the wild card teams predictions. So who are your top three? I wouldn't say in particular order of who's gonna be the top wild card, just whatever you have, because I didn't really put it like that. I just put three teams. Mo, you want to start us off?
You want my top three? Who I think is systematically okay? Jays, Mariners, Angels. Boom.
The Angels is a crazy.
That's
boy.
crazy. That's a crazy thing.
Getting it, man. Trout has been suffering for so long. Same with Ohtani, man. They did beef up a little bit. They acquired some great pieces, some pitching. They're just too good. These two are top 5 MLB players. You can't tell me you can't squeak into the playoffs. Yeah. Your division's not that hard. I mean, yes, you have the Astros. I feel like if Seattle loses a couple of pitchers or a key injury, they can be taken down. So I got the Angels. I got faith in the Angels, man.
I like it.
What about you, Eric?
Blue Jays, Seattle, and then I'm going to say the White Sox.
I knew you were going to pick the White Sox.
Yeah. It's you actually really are getting me to think the Angels now, but I feel like it's going to be one more season of pain.
Well, if it is, Ohtani's gone. He's not sticking around for that. They need to win. They absolutely have to win.
Yeah, but it's just. Sorry, go on, Nick.
No, I was gonna start saying Milo, Dave. You got.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. So because I think the Jays are finishing first in the AL East, Yankees see ya. You're going to the wild card. Feel our pain. Mariners, and then honestly, this was kind of a toss-up. I just said the Twins. They've been there before. They're all right, So I'll give you a wild card spot. But the NL,
so Braves, Cubs, and then Padres.
Ooh, you like the Cubbies?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just for the boy Dean. The boy Dean. I know he's a Cubs fan, so I don't know. I want to see the Cubs. I want to see the Cubs make it to the playoffs again.
Nice.
Little rookie of the year. I get it.
Yeah.
Right.
I said Braves, Mets, and Padres.
Okay.
I think there's gonna at least be 2 wild cards in the NL East because that division's so stacked, man. So I just feel it.
Yeah, there's no way that 2 other teams from that division don't make the playoffs. So I've got the Braves and I got the Mets. Team Metamucil, they'll get there, and I've got the Dodgers with the last. Well, I don't know. No, you know what? Sorry. Braves, Dodgers, Mets. That's what I got.
Dodgers, Mets. Nice.
Okay. You know what? No, you know what?
No, you want to change it?
I'm going to stick with the Cubs. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Man.
I'm going to do it.
They could do it. You never know. Injuries happen all the time. Never know. Metamucil, they're some old motherfuckers, man. They're some old motherfuckers, so you never know.
Exactly. The Braves have shown they have some injury-prone players as well. So
anyways, that's going to do it for episode 4 of the Growing Yard podcast. We hope you all enjoyed. The start of the season, it's coming soon, and next episode we're probably just going to be covering the home opener because the Blue Jays start off on the road, so we'll cover some of those games, but then we'll probably have a full episode on the home opener, get to check out the new renos, how they look like. And we'll just talk about our post-game reactions, if there's any mishaps, or if we choked, or if we just obliterated the Tigers. But yeah, if you wanna check out our socials, it's at the Going Yard Podcast. You can check us out on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, where we tweet out some of our live game reactions if we have the time to. And we just post highlights from our podcasts on other social media platforms. And if you want to follow our main socials, everything will be linked into the bio. So you can check that out. But guys, it's time to get fired up. I mean, we're 10 days away from the regular season. It's just around the corner, but till then, we'll see you next time.